Good morning to everyone. I hope everybody had an amazing holiday season, or I should say, first part of the holidays, as we are about to enter into New Year. So I guess the holidays aren't quite completely over yet. So I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas time. I wanted to actually talk about one of the gifts that I got, and I know Lee and I will talk about this on Friday as well. My Secret Santa gift was amazing. It was actually perfect gift, a coffee cup. And we were talking about this between Nesto and Alethea and myself this week that really was a true sign for me personally to keep asking the universe for things to work out, for things to keep progressing in our businesses. Because isn't that a beautiful little sign along the way that something as simple as saying that I needed an official coffee cup for the PJNC Lives, and then it showed up. So that was my little surprise fun gift this week. This topic that I wanted to talk about this week, good morning to everyone as well. This week is very near and dear to me, and for several reasons. Um, I wanted to explain that within our company, Grit and King, that we do things a little bit different when it comes to training and also to the path of an employee or a collective employee, I should say, into our system. That we believe that training is individual and that it revolves around a lot more than the tasks that it takes to fulfill a job or to complete fulfillment for a client, things of that nature. One of our requirements is reading many books. Like I will give the best example. There's a book called The Game of Life and How to Play It. That is one of the books that is required reading for us. And thank you for that comment. And that book, along with several others, is, like I said, required reading when somebody comes to work with Grit and King. Another facet of our training is weekly meetings that have been geared towards mindset. And again, most of the time when you're employed in a corporate setting, corporate America, for example, mindset and our path when it comes to becoming the best version of ourselves is not something that is discussed and is not something that is a part of that training process. Um, I know Lee talked about this recently that you're normally given a day if you're lucky, and you're given a couple of directions, and most of training is figure it out. And that is completely opposite of what we should be thinking about and doing when we're growing a team as an entrepreneur. So that's where this conversation from me is coming from. That's where it's guided from today, is talking about how we need to be the leader of our team, and also that it does not just stick with skill set, but it needs to be talked about when it comes to our challenges, where we all have our own drawbacks, things that we need to work on, and guide everyone that we work with to embrace change and embrace getting out of our comfort zones. So that's where this is coming from this morning, and where I want to dive into a little bit more. And I want to assure you that as we launch into this conversation, and once you hear this once, you will always use this as a visualization for your own personal growth and how you build your own company. It's very impactful. In fact, the reason why I say that is it makes me laugh every time someone quotes this back to me after using this in training. So everyone learns differently, needs to be taken. Yes, absolutely. That's exactly right. Thank you for that perspective. That is absolutely right. That not everyone fits into the same system and fits into the same path. They all need individual training, and that's exactly, as entrepreneurs, something that we're very fortunate to embrace, that we do not need to fall into that corporate mindset of here's your training manual if you're lucky, and good luck, figure it out. So this is where this conversation is really a part of for us personally, and I hope this inspires you as your business grows as well. So the conversation, as I had said yesterday in my reminder post, was how I burned the boats, burning the boats. And I don't know why, every time I get to talk about this, it's incredibly exciting to me because I love this visualization from the very first time that I had heard it. So if we think about our daily lives, it's easy to get bombarded, overwhelmed just within even our own mental space, especially again as entrepreneurs, solo entrepreneurs, because we have to do all of the things. We're responsible for every post-it note, every to-do list, client fulfillment, leading the team. Every one of those different hats are yours. And so it's very easy to get stuck in the idea of not being able to see the forest through the trees. And so that's where this conversation is going to be clarifying and hopefully help you look at it in a little bit more of a light situation. It's a little silly, yes, but that's okay because again, nobody said that we have to be super serious all the time as entrepreneurs anyways. So I thought about this, and when I was reviewing the information, that it's so easy as an entrepreneur to let our past define our future, that it's time consuming and it bogs us down by looking back and thinking, well, I failed in the past. I started a business before. I tried, but it didn't go well. That's how this is going to go. And that is 100% not true. There has been learning experiences along the way with every adventure. Love this comment. Yes, being serious all the time is boring. There is absolutely no time to be serious all the time. And if you cannot amuse yourself every day as an entrepreneur, then you're actually too serious. So thank you for that comment too. I totally agree. So, and in fact, in that whole not being too serious, we're actually going to be talking about burning boats, and we're actually going to take our inspiration from 1519. That was the year that this example is from. This is a real example, by the way. If anybody has not heard this example before, please take some time to look it up. There's some blog posts and how to apply it. It's a great thing. And in fact, there's actually a book. And I'm very, very excited to tell everyone that I posted about this probably about 6 months ago on LinkedIn. And the writer of that book called Burn the Boats actually commented on my post. And I have not read his book. I'm going to be completely honest with you because I just love how we've been applying it to our business, and I have not had time to read his book, but I'm letting you know there's a whole book about self-improvement in regards to burning the boats. So there was a gentleman, his name is Hernan Cortez from Spain in 1519 is the context of the history lesson. And he had taken several men, and their mission was to come to the New World and to find gold. And they started off by landing, and their adventures ended up taking them into Mexico. However, in between, and I apologize, this is the Cliff Note version, so there's probably a lot more detail in there, but I don't want to give a whole history lesson. He knew that as they were on this travel from the European countries over to, of course, to the Americas, that he knew that the men on the boat were not convinced, and they were at the edge of mutiny. And so when this happened, instead of ordering the boats to turn around, because that's what everybody wanted, they continued forward, but he ordered the boats to be burned. And the whole reason was that there would be no way back, there would be no failure. And why is this so important, and how can we use this in our lives as a lesson as entrepreneurs? Well, it's a daily reminder that we need to look forward and that we are working for the future success, and there is no back. There is no stepping back. There is no giving up because the boats have already been burned. It's easier for us to stay focused on a current situation or a stress that's right in front of us and then start comparing to our past experiences. But by eliminating any possibility of retreat, you're forcing yourself to fully commit to the changes ahead and conquer your own world. As entrepreneurs, we're conquering a brand new world. We're setting out on our own path. So in that way, we are very, very similar to what this gentleman was trying to accomplish. However, we have a lot more technology, obviously, and we have a lot more roadmaps and other people to compare our path to, and groups like this, like PJ&C, for us to be able to show up in, for us to have that accountability and also camaraderie. cheerleading, whatever you want to call it. So here's the question is, where do we start? How do we find our boats? Is, I guess, the easiest way to put it. Well, if you want to find your boats, you just need to look inside your comfort zone. And again, this is something that, love that. Oh, so do I. Thank you so much. Our comfort zones, we talk about this a lot within our team, is designed to make us comfortable, right? Comfort zone. But it doesn't mean that our comfort zone is healthy or could be healthier. So what we want to do is we want to look within our comfort zone and look for the habits that we create when things are not going the way we planned, our stress cycle that kicks in. What do we do to retreat? That is the easiest way to put it. There's always a retreat mechanism that we've all found to cope, to be able to revert to comfort versus push forward. And the analogy is burn the boats, meaning we have to correct those behaviors. If we want to progress and learn new things and be able to reach the goals we're setting out for ourselves, right now we're going into a new year. If you want to reach those goals, the first step today is think about those situations. What do we do to retreat and correct that behavior? We want to not give ourselves the ability to retreat backwards, and we do not want to give ourselves the ability to revert to old behaviors. Again, can't go back over the ocean, have to push forward. So we need to burn the boats. By burning the boats, so what if we actually burn the boats? Let's talk about that. If we burnt the boats. By burning the boats, you are truly able to see what you're capable of achieving. Because without a way out or a way back, that's when our true success and our abilities come to the forefront, and we challenge ourselves and we even surprise ourselves. We've all done it. There's situations where there is no way back. We've all been in those situations, and we push through, and you look up and realize there has been a huge breakthrough. There's success. You're capable of doing things that you didn't think were possible. So if you've done it even once in life, you can do it again. So there will be no need, just as a forewarning, for physical fire or matches to burn the boats in this situation, because that is not necessary or safe. However, we want to remember that burning the boats is a metaphor that we can all use daily in our minds to progress and not retreat. And so this was, like I said, something that we use within Grit and King's philosophies about how we push forward together and how we team build. And so I wanted to share this with everyone. And the other, like I said, is that book that I recommended. It's called The Game of Life and How to Play It. It is a small book. It's sitting right here. I can see it right now. It's a very tiny book. It would take you a Sunday afternoon to read it. And I would suggest you grab a highlighter, because I promise you, I'm not an e-reader when it comes to books. I like physical books. I like a highlighter. And by the time I'm done with the book, you can't even barely close it because of the amount of notes I take. That is a great one. It's a great tool just to reset our mindset. And especially, again, with this being the end of a year, the beginning of a brand new year, it is a great time, great chance to clear out some of the clutter, burn the boats, read some new books, and reset ourselves for 2024. So thank you once again for joining me. I thank you for listening and joining in. I do appreciate it. And like I said a couple of weeks ago when I got a chance to do the last one, because last week I wasn't able to, that I can attest to that. I literally retreat into myself. Okay, wonderful comment. Thank you for whoever made that comment. You retreat into yourself. That is your stress cycle. Pure and simple. And it's not that it's wrong. It just may not be serving you. And that was something that I learned a couple of years ago, that I had to sift through and look into my stress cycle. We all do, and we all have it. We all have our trigger, and then we revert into, it's a cycle. It's meant to keep us safe. It's meant to keep us protected, but it doesn't necessarily serve our future, as I said before. So that is an area that I think we all need to spend time on. This lesson, like I said, for myself, was I have an event that provides, it's like 10 years of therapy in a weekend. It was a self-improvement retreat. And once I realized that, I was able then to recognize when my stress cycle began, because again, once we realize that we have it, then we have to work on it and improve on it. And the one thing that I would definitely implore everyone is that it's not going to be perfect every time. You're still going to have it kick up, but now you're conscious of it. So if you can take that consciousness, recognize it, name it, and say, this is my stress cycle, this is what I do, then you can control it in the future. And every time it happens, improve a little. It's not going to go away immediately. It's not going to magically disappear. But now you are in charge versus the stress cycle being in charge. So I hope that this was incredibly guiding and a great way for all of us to kick off 2024 together. The PGA&C group is growing. Our podcasts are filling up for next year. I am so ridiculously excited to see where 2024 takes PGA&C. We're going to be building up for retreats next fall and winter that are going to be all about your business strategy as a female entrepreneur. So that is something that we are working towards currently. And we can't wait. I honestly, Lee and I talk about this almost daily, that this was only started like a little more than a month and a half ago. And we are just so incredibly amazed and incredibly humbled by how this is growing already and rapidly becoming such a beautiful group of women that can interact. So please, please, please take some time in the next couple of days. And before I go, I will tell you one more thing that Alethea and I are doing, and I'm going to have her post about it today in the group. We're participating in a ritual that we are going to be using every single year. And it's where you write down 13 different items that you want to accomplish, manifestations for 2024. And then you are tasked with burning them one at a time over the next couple of days. And the 13th one that you're left with is the one that you work on first. You can do your own version of it. You can follow the one that Lee and I and myself, and actually Estelle, my boyfriend, business partner, is also following as well. If you want to share with us, you're more than welcome to post pictures in the group. Again, as I said before, burning the boats means no matches. Be very, very careful with the burning of any paper. But please, if it's as simple as that matches and fire are not appropriate, tear it up, throw it in the garbage. Make it a ritual for yourself. That is something that you are purging yourself and giving it to the universe, and that we start the year off, all of us together, on a new path, a bigger path, a healthier path as well. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to be hopping off of here and getting ready for some big meetings today that I am very excited and looking forward to participating in, and getting ready for the weekend with family arriving. And please, 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 everybody, please share in the group pictures of your jammies and coffee within this replay of this. And also, again, when you have your 13 different manifestations, drop a picture in the group. Please do. We'd all love to share and support each of us for each other. So please get involved and be as active as possible, because we want to support you as much as you are supporting Alethea and myself. So have a wonderful day. I will be here on Friday with Lee. However, it is going to be recorded ahead of time. I apologize. I had 2 conflicting meetings at the same time on Friday morning. So it will be available as a replay Friday morning. I do apologize. Please forgive me. It could not be helped this week. And Lee and I will be talking more, kicking off next week with the new year, about our plans for this beautiful group. So please stay tuned for that as well. So as Lee always loves to say, and I get to steal it whenever she's not around, is that if we can be entrepreneurs and if we can do it, you can do it as well. Have a lovely day.